You ever see a man so gorgeous that you just want to boink so hard until you shake the ship out of orbit? Hello, and welcome to Orbit 5. This is a sci-fi horror dating sim in which you're stranded with space with a researcher named Dr. Polyakov after something goes terribly wrong with your ship. Now faced with the horrifying realization that you only have 5 days left in space, can you help him complete his mission before the horrors destroy you both? Let's get started. Oh, I'm so excited. You're in a deep, deep sleep. An absence of color surrounds you, dulling your senses and lulling yourself deeper into nyctonicity. You could stay like this forever. Is it why aren't you awake yet? God, this is so pretty. A foreign voice entrenches itself deep into your oracle. Something sleeps, do something always sleep so heavily? It's a voice you've heard before. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not gonna wait here forever. The gentle sound of the individual's voice fills your ears. Wake or sleep? Man, the UI is so pretty. I love it. What happens when you keep sleeping? Ugh, stubborn. Great. Fine, have it your way. No harm in going back to sleep for a while. What if there is harm? What if there is? It feels like it's been a few hours by now. Not that hours mean anything up here anyway, being in space and all. What are you saying? You're starting to sound like the doctor. Always correcting himself to a technical degree. Anyway, time to get up. Yawning, you attempt to push away the sheets covering your body. Why would it? Oh, clips. You undo the clips, fastening yourself to the mattress, your body drifting away from its original resting position. Wow! The movement as well? Gorgeous. After releasing yourself, you readjust to your surroundings. Right. The fact of the matter was that you're in space. Not in a daydreaming sense or a lack of interior design skill. You were suspended in the middle of nowhere, apparently thousands upon thousands of kilometers from home. The most comforting fact, or the least, depending on how you looked at it, was that you were not alone. There was one of the other individuals on the ship, one that went by the name of Dr. Polyakov. According to him, he was the captain of the ship that the two of you currently resided in. Despite this, you find him acting as more of a researcher than a captain. You don't recall quite how you got here, but what mattered to you now was making sure you stayed alive. The sunlight clings to you, soaking in its warmth despite the distance as you recall the instructions Dr. Polyakov had given you. What were you supposed to do? Something about admin access. Hi! Exiting the ship requires permission from another admin to be present. Please log in at the start of your day. The task he had given you first and foremost. A task only just behind the others is reorganizing shelves the umpteenth time. Come to think of it, this really was just your minimum wage job minus any other customers and therefore any point in working there. Wait, how much do I get paid? Oh, the scratches on the wall and the glass indicating how many days we've been there. That's a really nice detail. I do want to also call back to the fact that we don't actually remember how we got here, so I think that's going to become really important later. You briefly glance at the computer, but it seems the doctor has logged in as himself. You should probably input your own information. Accessing admin information. Enter username. Yinny. She, her. Login information. Admin. Yinny. Passcode. She, her. Correct? Yes. You don't see much on the computer itself. That is apart from a few files that come with the device's manufacturer. You decide it's probably best to not delete them. Back to more interesting matters. The doctor himself should be somewhere outside. Dr. Polyakov had been fixing the solar panels on the side of the ship for the past few days. Him having gotten back to the job mere hours following your unexpected presence. But didn't he mention something about not having visitors just a few days ago? Though, the time says it's 1400. Isn't that when Dr. Polyakov is supposed to be monitoring the grave? The what? He must still be busy. Maybe you should check up on him. You bring yourself to the main viewpoint of the ship, an expanse of glass reaching across the cosmos. That cosmos only stretched out approximately 5 meters, being no other windows in this compartment of the ship, but impressive nonetheless. Though most notably, in front of your eyes is a black hole, all-consuming forevermore. Dr. Polyakov refers to it as the grave. Additionally, the target of his expedition. From the looks of it, it appears to be a study expedition, given the amount of time Dr. Polyakov spends hunched over newly collected data regarding the mass. Speaking of, you looked at the solar panels on the left, finding Dr. Polyakov tinkering with a few components on the ship's solar panels. He'd been at it for a few days now. You're beginning to second-guess his abilities a little. Can't rush perfection, you suppose. Not that anything on the ship was perfect. Get his attention or leave him be. Get his attention. You tap on the glass outside of the window a few times. Dr. Polyakov does not respond. Honestly, you don't know what you're expecting given that sound doesn't move in space. You turn back to the computer, finding the radio headset already plugged in. As you turn it on, the static on the other side of the radio is interrupted only by Dr. Polyakov's occasional muttering. Doc? This is Yinny. Over. Also, the shake on the UI when it's a walkie-talkie transmission Dr. Polyakov looks up from his nest of wires, glancing at the window of the ship. I think I can see you against the window. Morning. That's so cute. Morning. Over. Don't worry about saying over. This isn't a radio. So, a call. This is an intercom. It's for two-way communication instead of broadcasting to a group. They're different things. Tomato, tomato. You said the same thing twice. Because it is the same thing twice. Thanks for leaving all the work to me, by the way. It wasn't like I had any plans today. What am I supposed to do? I don't know the first thing about being an astronaut. You haven't taught me anything either. That's because your presence is highly suspicious. Only thing you're getting is a desktop profile. Why'd you tell me to log into the Perseus main anyway? You don't seem to have any issue getting out here. It's protocol to have other members on the ship approve outside access. But I logged in after you woke up. How are you outside? No, you're outside. According to Perseus, keep your voice down. So much for protocol. Damn, Doctor. You sneaky. Are you gonna at least provide mildly useful input, or are you gonna keep distracting me? I don't know anything about solar panels. You learn to mess around and find out. It's actually fuck around and... Wait, Dr. Polyakov, do you not swear? It is unnecessary, frivolous, waste of your breath. Why? What? I just think it's funny. Who's there to swear to? Fuck is too good of a word not to use. And too good of a word not to do, if you know what I mean, Dr. Polyakov. You gonna come back? Maybe we can link suit environments. For you, Yinny. No, if you don't mind. Anyway, I'd kill for a coffee right about now. We don't have coffee. What about sugar? These questions are getting progressively less intuitive. Can you keep pets on the ship? The intercom promptly cuts off. With a small crackle, Dr. Polyakov practices an unsavory hand gesture in the general direction of where you're floating. That ends the conversation. You can find plenty of other stuff to do alone. You're great company after all. Woohoo! Like, you spot a note on what you can only guess is a fridge, slightly tilted. Floating down to its location, you use the skills you've accumulated to carefully tilt it back into place. It looks fantastic. Where would this ship be without you? For your next task, you must clean the rest of the ship, which looks like a mess. Damn, you really thought he'd be the clean freak type. Alas, the mess before you tires you out just looking at it. That's enough work for today. Let's see, what can we do? Ooh, there's places to explore. Let's have a look at the chair. Dr. Polyakov spends hours sitting here, inputting all the information he's somehow gotten from staring at the grave. The fake leather is fraying at the edges, thin from years of use. It's rough beneath your fingertips as you slowly drag them across its surface. Storage? The door to the storage room. The rest of the ship lies past that room, an area Dr. Polyakov hasn't allowed you to explore. Alright, let's look around a bit more. A glass window. At least you think it's glass. Maybe it's some mumbo-jumbo tech bro material. You tap on it once. Nothing happens. I bet something's gonna happen soon because it's gonna scare me. Alright, we've explored all we can here. Let's move over to this side. You stand in front of a garden. Peering down at the plants, you notice they're all well kept and healthy. Inspecting them further, you can make out wheat and what looks like potato peeking out from the soil, held down by some kind of vacuum. There are some other seeds in the compartment below, though most are unlabeled. Unfortunately, nothing inside seems ready for harvest. He seems to take good care of them, judging from the fact that it's only the compartment of the ship that isn't a mess of cables. You turn your attention to the screen on your right. It flickers brightly as the scene changes. What is going on? This is so unsettling. Oh my dear, how I wish to be with you so, but there is another. Dearest love, how can this be so? I know I have little for my heart to give, but let me promise you this world. Tell me, my dear, who is this other love? Oh, dearest, how I love you so, but I must not abandon my true love, my faith. You turn the TV off, cringing. That is pretty cringy. The grave is still all-consuming. Well, we're back here now. Not much else to do. On the glass again. You tap on the glass on the window. You find it a little flimsy to the touch. Was it always this weak? That's new. Uh-oh, there's no goldfish in space, Yinny. You should probably stop tapping the glass. You tap it anyway. I'm scared. You tap it again until a crack forms in the glass. You should really stop touching it now. Touch the glass? I mean, what's the harm in tapping it? Just one more time. Tap. Uh-oh. And you broke the glass. What were you expecting? Oh no, he's so mad at us. This is so funny. Look at the UI, it's different now. Oh, I love this. Alright, no more tapping the glass. Let's see, the contained nature shows no sign of suffering. What about this? Can we touch the TV again? The TV is turned off. The grave is all consuming. Will it change if I keep tapping it? No. The door to the storage room. The rest of the ship lies past that room, an area Dr. Polyakov hasn't allowed you to explore. Oh well, let's leave. You spend the rest of your time Dr. Polyakov's ship, picking things up and placing them in what seems like an appropriate spot, only for them to drift off aimlessly seconds after they moved. You're starting to figure out why the ship is so messy. Still, there's surely a way to clip everything down. Maybe there was still some way you could store it. You look outside again. Doc? There's no response on the other line. Doctor? Doc? 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 Hello? Everything's okay, right? Jesus! You scared the crap out of me! Also, Doctor, you're huge. You push him off you. Dr. Polyakov covers his hands over his ears for a moment. Oh, ow. Yell a little louder next time, I couldn't hear you. Don't sneak up behind me. You're the one that was yelling out to me. Okay. Jeez. Did you actually need anything, or are you just interrupting my work for fun? I didn't see you coming in. I thought you were stuck out there. There's no sound outdoors, you probably didn't hear me. Anyway, you're cutting through my research shift. Dr. Polyakov moves to the computer to your left. A screen is open with several lines of dialogue, too bloated to understand. The doctor stares at it like it's his favorite pastime. Weirdo. Doc, are there any free drawers around? Is that no? Dr. Polyakov waves his hand in the miscellaneous direction, giving you no answer in the slightest. His eyes are zoned in on the grave, staring at the thing as if it would explode. You hope that's not the case. Looking to get in on the action, you observe the black hole for yourself. The thrum of its rings, and it is steady and mesmerizing. Its warm yellow glow bends and twists the stars around it into its center, the finality of everything that surrounds it. A void. You can see why Dr. Polyakov is so fixated on it. In many ways it's beautiful, dangerous, uncaring. Despite this, Dr. Polyakov's expression is intense. His lips pursed into a thin line as his brows scrunch his face. You think you ask if something is wrong, but you feel like he'd ignore you regardless. There's an air to the ship now that you didn't notice before. It's thinner. Or at least thinner than you remember. You move in Dr. Polyakov's direction, though your gaze lingers on the door beside him. He usually passes through it to enter the ship's exterior. Is it because I broke the window? Or I cracked it? Its self-shuddering, however, is what distracts you. That's new. Hey, Doc, is that door supposed to be moving around like that?
Yes, I've always told you I'm rather bit...
Doctor, what's wrong? Why do you look worried? What did he say? Wait, you said the back was shudder... On cue, the sound of an alarm pierces your ears. Dr. Polyakov springs from his seat, his eyes widening in horror. Warning, sections B, C, and D compromised. Evacuate all areas immediately. Shit! Doctor, what's going on? The shuddering grows into the rest of the ship, the environment leaving you dizzy. Dr. Polyakov moves to the door with blinding speed, punching in numbers unknown to you. Despite his efforts, the alarm pounding in your ears only seems to grow louder. Compromising section C, B, D. Preserving CN_salvation. Damn it! He slams his fist against the wall, frantically typing with no avail. Every direction seems to end with an error. I need to do something. You frantically search for anything that could help the two of you. Nothing you can find seems to be of any use. What did that say? No, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. You hear the sound of metal collapsing from the other side of the ship, then nothing as it vanishes into orbit. What happened? Doctor? Are you okay?
Yinny, I believe I told you not to interrupt my schedule.
But I didn't do anything.
I have work to do.
Dr. Polyakov slowly moves back into his seat with a blank expression, muttering something under his breath. You whip your head towards him as he sits down. Something is really wrong. And where do you think you're going? I thought you'd be freaking out.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing is wrong. It's fine. No one is dying. Jupiter isn't hurting anyone. Will you stop paying attention to it, Yinny?
Who the hell is Jupiter? Half of the ship is missing.
Stop being silly. Everything is fine.
Doctor? Everything is not fine. Did you have a mental breakdown? Dr. Polyakov returns to his seat as if nothing happened, examining the grave quietly.
It's still there.
Doctor, you slowly move towards him, only to see that he's staring at the camera showing the rest of the ship, or lack thereof. You can make out a few torn hinges, fabric uselessly drifting what once held the space together like dust in the wind. Slowly, carefully, you move your hand down and place it on his shoulder. He flinches, piercing teal eyes stabbing thorns into where his gaze was held. Dr. Polyakov.
Don't address me while I'm busy.
Half of the ship is gone.
What is essential remains.
Are we safe?
Stop making me think about it.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Are you alright?
Don't be sorry, son of a bitch. I was supposed to have more time. Screw this shit, screw it all. All the freaking supplies, food, water, fuel, all of that was in there.
Well, he's swearing now. Language...
Oh, for crap's sake, this isn't time. With everything in there.
Dr. Polyakov scans the room, observing everything currently on the ship. You believe he'd hang his head, that is of course if there were any gravity to do so.
We have less than 120 hours.
Shit, wait, so that's 24, 48,
Split into 24-hour intervals, that will be 5 days. Days are not an appropriate use of language though. It takes me about 24 hours to orbit Jupiter's grave. I call that the equivalent to a day here. So, 5 orbits, including this one.
We're so screwed. You nod in response, before you turn your head towards the endless expanse just meters away from the two of you. A silent reminder of the consequences of error. You lose yourself for a moment in that view. Dr. Polyakov doesn't break the silence. Doctor, are we going home?
Yes, of course. I couldn't abandon humanity. They're all down there, waiting for me. Yeah.
That's good. Doctor, what's wrong with Jupiter?
Whatever do you mean?
Doctor, tell me what's wrong with Jupiter. You said Jupiter wasn't hurting anyone, which I assume is incorrect, because you sounded like you were lying to yourself.
I maybe have been untruthful.
After another moment of silence, Dr. Polyakov's shoulders sag, a long heavy breath escaping his lips.
I suppose I should reintroduce myself. Earth below. My name is Dr. Polyakov. I'm the 13th cadet of the Earth Restoration Mission and the captain of the Perseus Salvation Unit. My goal, the reason I'm up here, is to destroy Jupiter.
What? Also, that cutscene just then, that was so cool. Let's watch that again. Look at him, that's so cool. What?
My mission is to destroy Jupiter.
Can you destroy me, by the way? Because you're very pretty. Okay, so Jupiter is a planet.
Jupiter is a black hole. Seriously, what planet are you living on? This isn't the time to be joking around. The best way I can describe it is, well, a change of mass. Its irregularity is an issue back home. I'm working to solve it. That's all I'm willing to say for now.
You can't just tell me you're going to blow up a planet with no elaboration.
That is exactly what I'm doing.
Unbelievable. I'm supposed to stop you from doing that, you know?
I suppose I'll have to kill you before you try. I might tell you, but only if you're very well behaved.
You grown. Of course he'd make you do his dirty work. I can't believe you're holding this over my head. To do chores.
I don't think you fully understand the stakes of my position on this ship, but it's probably better that way.
I don't think you'd fully tell me if I asked you what that was. An amused huff of air filters through the man's lips.
Touché. Well, I suppose I should give you something to do.
I've been cleaning your ship for the past few hours.
Really? I didn't notice.
You're so pretty though, you're so cute. God, I want to tug his ponytail. What? You liar! It probably hasn't been this clean in here for years.
I suppose you'll never know.
I'll find out. I want to know more about you.
Bold. I should have probably expected that from you though. Don't be so sure you'll like what you find.
You seem worried.
I'm worried for nothing. That luxury became void years ago.
You find yourself at a loss at what exactly to do with half of the ship still remaining. You turn to Dr. Polyakov. The man's head now turned towards the goal of his expedition.
Well, my work here is not complete. The same rules apply, Yinny. Keep things in their order. Do not distract me from my work. And for the love of God, don't touch anything. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. I'm going to be heading outside to survey the damage. I need you to log in, the same way as I taught you.
Dr. Polyakov moves to the door of the ship. On cue, you quickly move to the Perseus main, granting him access to the world that threatened to swallow you both whole. Be careful out there.
I'm not the one you should be worried about.
Holding his helmet in his hands, the first door opens and closes behind you. The second door, the door to what used to be the rest of the ship, remains, allowing Dr. Polyakov spare breaths of fresh air before he brings himself into oblivion. And just like that, his fate belongs to the stars. Oh my god, he's so pretty. You ever see a man so gorgeous that you just want to boink so hard until you shake the ship out of orbit? Because I do, right here. Well, now to get to business. How the hell did this guy manage to leave this place in such a mess? Oh, get it together, Yinny. Oh, he's grumpy. Dull eyes gloss over a laminated screen. They turn away. It's of no importance. None at all. What the hell? That was such a good demo. Okay, I have to go back and check out a bunch of stuff because I want to see different variations and stuff. Okay, first off, let's see what happens when we wake up. Letting out a deep sigh, you mumble a few choice words under your breath as the blanket is lifted from your face. A barrage of colors invade your retinas, the soft magenta hues awakening your slumber. You rise from your blankets, your body raising upwards to meet the face of the man in front of you. Or at least, you would be doing that, if not for the absence of any direction or gravity. Blankets drift around you as if trapped in angelic breeze. And by now you know better. You look to your side to meet the eyes belonging to that familiar voice. Hi, Doctor. You're so gorgeous. So pretty. Oh, Doctor, you're huge. The man in front of you goes by the name of Dr. Polyakov. You've been working with him for a while now. Or rather, you've been following him around since you ended up on his ship. He was a stubborn kind, focused on his mission with little care for much else. And from what you could gather, the two of you were completely, utterly alone. Ooh, nice. Did the thought make you nervous? Absolutely. Though you'd suppose nothing bad had happened, yet. Though from the doctor's reaction when you first met him, he seemed more scared of you than you were of him. Am I human? Still, on the day you ended up on his ship, he'd allow you to remain on the spacecraft until he was able to find your way back home.
Nice of you to finally join me.
Oh, you are so pretty. Look at him. Look at his gorgeous face.
We're 2 minutes late to the schedule. Please prepare for the day.
The doctor places his hands on his hips with a precision that indicated experience. After all, he'd been there much longer than you. Always so on schedule. Did you ever get bored?
I cannot afford to be bored.
Get up. You lazily put on the attire given to you. A used bluish undersuit that covered most of your body. Unfortunately, none of the astronaut jumpsuits were an easy fit for you. Sleek material intended to be tight floated loosely around your body. Dr. Polyakov didn't want you up there anyway. New faces were nothing but trouble and so on. You weren't exactly expecting the suit to be tailored to you specifically. According to him, he'd been teaching you some of the basics of running the ship while the doctor took more important matters into his own hands. Now if anyone asked you, he taught you how to sit around and wait for him. Not that there was anyone else to ask. In your several hours of your crucial task, that being float for a few hours while Dr. Polyakov stares into space, you barely scraped even a few of the details regarding what exactly the two of you were supposed to be doing up here. You'd ask, where are we? Dr. Polyakov answers, we're in space. What are we doing? That's none of your business. So such refusal to answer any important question led you to come to your own conclusion. His mission was straightforward, or so he claimed. Not that he told you exactly what it was. All you knew was that Dr. Polyakov in the abundance of space felt so cramped in the Perseus Salvation Unit.
You only look human. How on earth did you end up here?
Earth. He always mentioned Earth. Home, you assume. Not that you can remember much apart from your name being called out to you, emerging from the light. And then he turned to look at you and demand for the 100th time how you gotten up there. And you give him the same hopeless look. You'd arrived only recently, though arrived was hardly an appropriate manner of describing it. A more appropriate word would be appeared. Do I have something to do with Jupiter? How did I just warp onto the ship? You'd woken up in the absence of gravity surrounding you, and better yet, an alarmed doctor demanding you state your planet of origin. Despite the demands, you found yourself thinking of, well, nothing at all, really. Memories of the past were blurry, faces unrecognizable, something that would bring you down immensely if you thought of it too hard. In fact, you remember nothing but a name and a vague sense of your interests. And of course, that millennium wage job you had back when you were a teenager. You shudder at the memory.
Hello, 5730 24 North, 82 17 26 East, to you.
The doctor's voice breaks you out of your thoughts as you look up to face him. Initially, he seems annoyed, but looking at your face, the edge in his frown quickly disappears.
Daydreaming.
Sorry for spacing out. Head in the clouds.
Oh, it doesn't make much sense. There's no clouds up here because we're in space.
I know that.
I wasn't being literal.
Oh, he was trying to joke with us.
I think I'm doing it wrong.
You're not doing it wrong exactly. Your humor is just... what's the word? Painfully unfunny.
Nonsense. I'm hilarious. You just don't get it. Ha ha ha. See? I'm laughing because I'm hilarious.
You're so cute. I want to bend you over. Right. You're so funny.
Why, thank you. Can you log into the ship's files? Need external admin permission to get outside.
Accessing admin information. Enter username. Yinny. She, her. You log into the ship's main control panel, carefully allowing access to the solar panels outside just as Dr. Polyakov taught you to, and open the doors outside when Dr. Polyakov is ready.
Thanks.
Not a problem. You lean backwards, the action sending you drifting just slightly. Despite your lack of memory towards anything else, the feeling still fails to be anything other than foreign. As if your feet were meant to be planted in the ground, far away from a weightless void, such as now. You find yourself yearning for a light that's aura has not graced your soul. Yet it makes you wonder about the goal outside. Dr. Polyakov refers to it as the target, though he claims that his home people call it the grave. But you don't recall a grave, not in your time. He did say the retail was a thing of the past, though the confusion only stirred the insatiability in your stomach caused by a lack of gravity. You stare at it for a while. It's looming, technically massive and all-consuming, according to the doctor, but from here it looks so small. You imagine plucking it from where it's placed in the cosmos, swallowing it whole. I'll swallow Dr. Polyakov whole. Would that make you the target? You are what you eat, you suppose.
Damn panels, too many dead ones up top. We're running out of protein packets, Yinny, so I'll need to take another trip out to access storage at some point. Put that in the schedule.
You nod, briefly glancing at where the packets are usually kept. A barely held together cabinet with words you couldn't understand scrawled onto it.
Any requests for future dinner?
I'd actually like to eat pizza.
We're in the middle of space, we don't have that.
You really are no nonsense. Nothing. Maybe I just remember people differently than you do.
Haven't been around people in a while.
The doctor drifts towards the cabinet. He flicks through each sealed package with precision, before finally plucking one from its place in storage. You're picky. Aren't they all the same flavors?
This one looked the most appealing.
Look at that blip! With less care. He flings that same packet towards you, an action not requiring much strain as it flies to your face. You turn it around in your hands, raising your brows in surprise. You can hear him rummaging through the cabinet to find another. You open the bag, inspecting its contents, an array of pure proteins as per usual. You think about little and consuming little less. Thinking about little and consuming even less. You turn your attention to the doctor who was staring at you. Yes?
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're looking at me. You wanna make out? You're looking at me first. The blush? Oh, I love you.
I was inspecting your eating patterns, which are too slow, by the way. Eat up, it's important.
He returns to scoffing down his meal, the action complete in minutes. You turn your attention to the windows outside. It's vast. Forevermore, that's what Dr. Polyakov tells you. Say, Polyakov.
Dr. Polyakov.
You ignore the correction. I know it's supposed to be a secret, but why are we up here anyway?
I told you before that is all confidential information. My mission is an extremely delicate operation. Any mistaken judgment or calculation could spell the end for both of us. Must I remind you of how far away you are from where you're supposed to be?
Well, you can certainly trust me. I'm probably the most trustworthy person you'll ever meet.
The bar in that department is exceedingly low for me.
Oh.
It's not because I know any untrustworthy people, there's literally no one else up here.
That doesn't make me feel any better at all. The doctor raises an eyebrow, quietly asking what exactly do you mean by that? Wouldn't it be nice to share your troubles with someone?
Doesn't sound particularly appealing to me, no.
Float with me.
We're already floating.
I'd say walk with me, but we can't walk.
I can.
You have magnets on your feet. That doesn't count at all.
Green with envy.
I know the grave is the target.
Is that all you need to know?
Come on, please?
Your lack of understanding regarding how dire this mission is concerns me.
I pinky promise, I'm not gonna blow up the ship.
Thanks. I'm still not telling you.
You're no fun.
Not much fun to be had up here, unfortunately.
It's just been, what, 62 hours since I've gotten here. This won't tell me anything.
62 hours really isn't as much as you come to believe.
It still feels that way.
Speak to me again about the passage of time when you've been up here as long as I have.
And how long is that exactly? Dr. Polyakov ignores your question. Well, this is extremely boring.
Perseus isn't designed to be interesting. Besides, it's only your first food break.
There's literally nothing to do up here. Not to mention that you literally won't talk to me about anything.
God, you're high maintenance. Must you constantly be entertained?
Yes.
You can play on the phone if you stop nagging me.
Is there even any signal up there?
No.
Exactly. Dr. Polyakov rolls his eyes, finishing his packet and placing it in his pocket for later disposal. You rack your brains for something to do. Since arriving on Perseus, you've done nothing but sit around and wait until the doctor is finishing work. Afterwards, engaging in another conversation that goes nowhere, it's already lights out. Probably nothing to lose in another attempt, you think. Alright, what about you?
About me? What do you mean?
If I can't know why you're up here, can I at least know about you? You know, get to know each other.
I feel like you're using this front as a way of getting information out of me.
That's what getting to know people means, genius.
I am, thank you. I mean information I'm not supposed to tell you.
Alright. I'm gonna ask you normal questions, and you're gonna answer them like a normal person, which you cannot possibly give anything away, alright?
I'm still skeptical.
What's your name?
Dr. Polyakov.
I mean your first name.
Doctor.
How long have you been up here? It's not doctor, you lying ass. How long have you been up here?
A while.
You really are bad at getting to know people.
Your questions are poor.
Alright, what question would you prefer to be given?
I prefer not to be asked a question.
Doc, Docky, Poltergeist, P-boy.
I want you never say those words again.
What do you do in your free time?
I think you understood how time-consuming it is to run a spacecraft.
What's your favorite animal?
I like dogs.
What kind of dog?
Bullseyes.
Checks out.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means whatever you want it to mean.
What? That doesn't mean anything at all.
So you get offended easily.
I do not get offended easily. You just have profound lack of ability to say anything that makes sense.
Yesterday, you told me I operated the doors at the speed of a breadboard.
Plenty of breadboard.
Do you have any hobbies?
Didn't I tell you it gets boring out there?
So you must have a hobby then, right?
Well, I suppose I don't really have time for it though.
And that is? The doctor finally takes a moment to furrow his brows and stare into the distance.
Let me remember.
By the look on his face, it looks like he already has something in mind but is too embarrassed to admit it.
I suppose caring for the botany isn't a hobby if it's required, so there's some vintage television kept archived on the Perseus main. They're reminders of humanity's culture.
Oh, I was expecting to, like, watch paint dry or something. It's nice that they thought of you when they sent you up here.
What do you mean?
You know, keeping you close to humanity.
Well, I suppose. They are quite comforting.
What's your favorite genre?
Of television?
You nod enthusiastically.
Well,
So?
I like, documentaries.
Despite his enthusiasm, it sounds like a cover-up.
I mean, I hardly need any reminders of our ever-growing achievements. I mean, look at where we are now. Impressive, no?
Oh, sure. So, do you like history documentaries then?
Of course, it's of utmost importance that I know the story of our race by heart. To abide by the goodness of humanity is to ensure salvation.
Most history documentaries I've watched are pretty depressing, to be honest.
How would a history documentary be depressing?
I mean, just general human history. What not to do and all that.
I know what you mean, but sure.
Alright, change the subject. If you could have anything in the world to eat right now, what would you have? Dr. Polyakov places his hand to his chin, deep in thought.
Good question. I want a steak.
I agree.
I miss it horribly.
Yeesh, you've been up here however long and you haven't had any steak?
Do you think we keep livestock up here?
Well, maybe you do. You are in a flying ship that can't identify.
Would it kill you to be serious for just a fleeting moment?
My bad, I misremember the terrifying importance of what kind of steak you like to have with your space food.
I've been trying to tell you there is no steak up here. Now imagine how much easier my job would have been if I was stuck with someone else who knew how to listen.
You wound me, Doc. What wounds me more is the lack of beef, though.
Christ.
So you believe in Christianity? Or any religion, I guess?
What? Don't be silly. Humans need no lord. Defining a human life by a rulebook is simply ridiculous. Do as this book says or you're doomed to suffer for eternity. You're misguided if you truly believe as such.
You're supposed to ask something about me now.
Am I?
You are horrendous at this.
I was testing you.
Liar?
Ugh, name.
Yinny.
Your favorite color.
Favorite color is... green.
I agree. Back on Earth, I'd tend to the gardens we kept.
Oh, a gardener, are we?
I did have a higher in performance in botany. How about, what do you want to be asked?
Wow. I feel so touched. Hopefully in more ways than one soon.
I didn't touch you.
Hopefully you will soon. Hopefully we'll bang a lang so hard that we shake the ship off orbit. You touched me emotionally.
Oh, so,
Dr. Polyakov ruminates over his next selection of words, chewing on the inside of his cheek as he thinks of something to ask you.
Do you like, doing things? That was awful.
I like doing things.
Yeah? Yeah. What kind of things? You?
I have plenty of hobbies.
Uh-huh, now figured you out, Yinny. So then what are your hobbies?
I like the arts.
Quite an admirable skill. You'll be able to use that for great things one day.
I feel optimistic about my art.
You are right in feeling that way. It's more than admirable, that talent.
A slight glare crosses Dr. Polyakov's eyes as a grin forms on his lips.
I hope you're okay with drawing diagrams unpaid.
I don't even do visual art.
I see. I'll continue the diagrams then. I'll put your skills to use, be it writing, audio, dancing.
Dr. Polyakov smirks as he thinks about how he could exploit your talents for free. Before he can retort, the familiar sound of the ship's alarm sounds.
Well, that concludes the discussion. Now, my schedule declares that I collect data on the target for exactly 3 hours. Unless you don't want us cast into space with no suit, I suggest you don't interfere. Do as you please. Just don't press any buttons or open any doors. Actually, it's best you don't touch anything.
Despite your audible groan and annoyed slouch, you do as he says. The slowest days on the ship are more than often involve Dr. Polyakov staring at the grave for several hours at a time. What to do? Bother the doctor? Keep looking around the ship. Or bother the doctor? You know what? No way you're gonna let this slide. You're not getting any information out of him at all, despite being stuck in here with him for days. The least you could do is get more information on this target he was so obsessed with, pulling himself over the doctor's shoulder as he carefully takes notes of every behavior of the grave's movements, which from your view were non-existent. You squint harder at the object, attempting to decipher just what exactly it was doing, which required so much attention. After a good 5 seconds of making out absolutely no behavior or movement from the thing, you turn your attention to the charts in the doctor's hands. Could you even read this? Just a little more.
Do you mind?
Sorry. Jesus! You scared the shit out of me.
I'm trying to work over here, which, judging from your behavior, is foreign to you. Didn't you have a job?
You don't have to be employed to work where I work. That's the beauty of it.
That makes literally no sense. I mean, be quiet.
Mumbling something under his breath, he returns to his task. Turn on the charm. Oh, you can think of something far better to make this trip more interesting. You're leaning closer to him, a smirk on your face and shamelessness in your bones. Doctor, you know, I'm trying to stare at this grave and all, but you're far more interesting.
If you could stop breathing all over me, that would be much appreciated. I should congratulate you for not being able to pay attention. Do you need an award? I can assure you, it won't have the finesse of my doctor's certificate, because you are not in need of an award. But it only matters that I thought of you, no?
I'd take any award from you, Doctor. Wait. Did you make your own doctor's certificate?
I would have had a PhD, just didn't end up being the right time for it.
Laughter bubbles up to your stomach as a hand moves to cover your face.
Hey, it's legitimate. I'll have you know my certificate is laminated.
You're so cute. He promptly pushes you out of your position next to him, sending you drifting into a wall with a harmless thud. Still chuckling to yourself, you decide to have mercy on the doctor for a moment. After drifting aimlessly for another few minutes, you decide to explore the rest of the ship. After all, apparently you and him are going to be here for a while. You should go look for something to do. Okay, and this is all exploration that we've seen in our last playthrough. Except for this, when you click on the plants, it's different this time. Dr. Polyakov did mention having a higher performance in botany. Guess he was right. You notice a note on the side of the glass. What the hell does that say? I can't read Russian. Peering down at the plants, you notice they're really well kept and healthy. Inspecting them further, you can make out wheat and what looks like potato peeking from the soil, held down by some kind of vacuum. There's some other seeds in the compartment below, though most are unlabeled. Unfortunately, there's nothing inside seems ready for harvest. It seems like it takes good care of them, judging from the fact that it's only a compartment of the ship that isn't a mess of cables. Alright, well, that's it. Yeah, I think this is all the same, so I'm gonna skip ahead until it's not. Yeah, and then we have the disaster again. Okay, we're back here. This time, instead of I want to know more about you, we'll go I don't trust you. Dr. Polyakov shrugs his shoulders, his expression unchanged. Fair, but I will remind you that you supposedly came from nothing. I came from Earth, didn't I? You could at least try to be a little more convincing. I don't have any reason to lie, I don't know where I came from. I could think of many reasons you'd have to lie. I'll take your word for it. For now, just know that I have far less reason to trust you as you do me. Be warned, Yandere. Any offense against this ship is an offense against humanity, and I will seek retribution in the highest order I can bestow. Yeesh, and keep that in mind. When all is said and done, you find yourself at a loss as to what exactly to do with half the ship remaining. And it's still the same here for now. Yeah, so he heads outside, and then we log in for him, and now he's outside. This bit I found really interesting though, where it's like dull eyes gloss over a laminated screen. They turn away. It's of no importance. None at all. That makes me like really wary, and I don't understand why. But it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Oh my god, he's so pretty. Thank you for playing. That was great. I love that. Anyway, that was my full playthrough of Orbit 5. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I have been really excited for this game because I adored the aesthetic when I first saw it. And after being so lucky to play something so beautiful, I am blown away by it. The plot is incredibly intriguing, because I rarely ever get to play like true sci-fi like horror games, and sci-fi horror is one of my favorite genres of horror ever. I absolutely adore sci-fi horror. Knowing that something scary is in store for me in future updates, I'm very excited for it. Dr. Polyakov seems like an incredibly interesting character as well. He's obviously there to do his job and he's very stoic and no nonsense, but having to take on the task of destroying Jupiter for the sake of humanity, which is now, Jupiter now being a black hole, is an immense task that he is doing by himself, alone. It also begs to question as to why, if it's such an important task, why has he been sent up here alone? Given that he is primarily, scientist, researcher, doesn't really seem to have any access to like armaments or anything like that. And despite being alone, would he not at least have contact with some sort of home base? But we haven't spoken to anyone during the entirety of this, so I really wonder what is actually going on, because it's such an important task, right? So why is he up here alone by himself with no one to help him? And that is something that I hope we can find out in future updates, because it's very interesting to think about. The setting itself is absolutely wonderful. I am a big fan of horror settings that utilize what I like to call one room or like one location. The ship being the only place that we can go to provides like a sense of claustrophobia that sort of makes everything a lot more heightened and frustrated because you're trapped in this one space. And when you're trapped in this one space and when there's something that is going on that's so scary, it's very difficult to find somewhere that you feel safe in, difficult to find somewhere that you find confident that you can call home. And I wonder if like that is going to come into consideration when it comes to future updates, because you start to feel cagey and like locked up, and it's definitely something very scary to me personally. And another reason why I love one room settings, like be it like one spaceship, one apartment, or like, or like one shop, is because it allows you to really let your storytelling shine. because you are essentially constrained with the amount of locations that you can utilize. Therefore, the limitations often, from what I see, makes the narrative shine a lot because the writer then has to figure out how to make do with what they have. And that honestly creates some of the most beautiful stories that I've ever seen, which I think is what this is going to shape up to be because one, aesthetics are absolutely gorgeous. The purple, the UI, everything is done with so much intention and so much care. Even like the animations, chaining the CGs together to make like an animation of sorts, where he points at Jupiter, is absolutely ingenious and so incredibly wonderful. And just like Dr. Polyakov as well, is so incredibly interesting, which is very important because he is the only love interest and likely going to be the only person that we interact with throughout the course of Orbit 5. So yeah, I'm genuinely very keen to see where this goes. I cannot wait for the horror elements to start coming in. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. I had so much fun playing this. This was definitely well worth the wait. Please genuinely go and check out the devs link that I placed in the description box below. Download the game for yourself, click around, meet Dr. Polyakov yourself, experience like just the animation and the sound design and just narrative design, everything coming together to make what I think is one of the most beautiful demos that I have played this year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. And also, if you guys would like to support the channel, my Patreon is linked in the description box below. Supporting monetarily is not mandatory, just very appreciated. But that's all for now, and until the next fictional man, take care.